What happens when a man known for turning discomfort into comedy walks onto a stage built for polite conversation and decides, smiling, to tip it just slightly off balance? The lights of the studio glow warm, the applause sign flashes, and laughter is already waiting before anyone knows what it's about. Ryan Reynolds steps onto the set of The View with that familiar half-grin, the one that promises charm but hints at mischief. The audience claps, Joy Behar leans forward with interest, and no one yet realizes that the laughter about to fill the room will soon tighten into something sharper, something nervous, something unforgettable. Before we go any further, if you love cinematic, explosive celebrity moments like this, make sure to subscribe to the narration show, hit that like button, and comment below, so you never miss a story that goes off script. Ryan settles into his chair, adjusting his jacket like a man completely at ease. His eyes flick around the table, playful, observant. He trades quick smiles with the hosts, and Joy Behar gives him a teasing welcome, the kind she's delivered 1,000 times before. It feels safe, comfortable, the kind of interview that glides by on jokes and movie plugs. But beneath Ryan's humor, there's a timing, a precision. He listens closely. He always does. Joy starts with a light jab, something about his reputation for sarcasm, about how he never takes anything seriously. The audience laughs. Ryan laughs too, nodding as if accepting the charge. Inside, though, there's a pause. A beat. He tilts his head, eyes narrowing just slightly, as if he's found the thread he wants to pull. "Well," Ryan says lightly, "I take some things very seriously." He glances around the table, then back to Joy. Like knowing when someone's joking, and when they're just really confident about being wrong. The laughter comes fast, loud. Joy chuckles, waving a hand dismissively. She's heard worse. She fires back with a quick remark about Hollywood egos, about actors thinking they're smarter than politicians. The rhythm feels familiar, jab, laugh, reset. But Ryan doesn't reset. He leans in. "You know," he adds, voice still warm, "I've always admired how The View encourages open discussion. It's brave. Especially when opinions are, let's say, immune to updates." This time, the laughter stumbles. Some audience members laugh a second too late. Joy's smile holds, but her eyes sharpen. She responds, half joking, half defensive, about experience and perspective. Ryan nods, absorbing it, like a boxer measuring distance. As the conversation moves on, Ryan sprinkles humor into every answer, but each joke lands just a fraction closer to the edge. He talks about fame, about social media outrage, about how everyone thinks they're an expert now. Joy jumps in, making a sweeping comment about people who hide behind humor to avoid responsibility. The studio chuckles, but Ryan's expression changes, just a flicker. He smiles again, but this one is calmer, slower. "I actually think humor is responsibility," he says. "It's how you tell the truth without shouting." He pauses, and sometimes without being invited. A ripple passes through the audience. Someone lets out a surprised laugh. Joy tilts her head, eyebrow raised. She asks if he's implying something. Ryan shrugs, casual. Only if the shoe fits, or if it keeps interrupting everyone else. The tension is no longer hidden. Cameras catch Whoopi glancing sideways, Sunny watching closely. Joy laughs again, but it's tighter now, her voice just a bit louder. She pushes back, questioning whether comedians should comment on politics at all. Ryan doesn't interrupt. He waits. When she finishes, he nods respectfully. "I think anyone speaking to millions has a responsibility," he replies. "Whether they call themselves a comedian or a host." The audience reacts before Joy can. A mix of laughter, gasps, and a low murmur. Joy opens her mouth, then closes it, smiling through clenched teeth. The applause sign flashes again, almost desperately, trying to smooth the moment. But the air has changed. The laughter isn't easy anymore. It's alert, nervous. Ryan leans back, as if unaware of the shift, but his eyes are bright. He's found his rhythm now. Joy recovers, tossing out a joke to deflect, but it lands softer. The conversation moves on, yet everyone feels it, the sense that something has been said that can't be unsaid. And the show is only halfway over. The discussion circles back later, almost inevitably. Joy references Ryan's earlier comment, framing it as playful but pointed. Ryan smiles apologetically, hands raised. "I roast because I care," he says. "If I didn't respect this table, I'd just smile and say nothing." That line draws a bigger reaction than anything before. Applause mixes with uneasy laughter. Joy exhales sharply, leaning back in her chair. For a brief second, the mask slips. She looks genuinely caught off guard. She responds with humor of her own, but there's steel in it now. She jokes about Canadians being too polite to mean what they say. Ryan laughs, nodding. That's true, he agrees. Which is why when we do say something, we've usually thought about it for a while. The audience laughs again, louder this time, but it's different. It's the sound of people witnessing a duel wrapped in smiles. The hosts exchange glances. Whoopi steps in, steering the conversation toward safer ground, but the spark lingers in the air, crackling. As the segment winds down, Ryan thanks the hosts graciously, complimenting the show, the discussion, the passion. Joy returns the courtesy, but her tone is measured now. The applause rises as the camera pulls back, and Ryan stands, waving to the audience. From the outside, it looks like any other lively interview. But inside the studio, everyone knows they've just walked a line. When the cameras cut to commercial, the room exhales. Audience members whisper to each other, replaying the lines in their heads. Some laugh. Some shake their heads. Joy sips her drink, eyes down for a moment longer than usual. Ryan chats quietly with a producer, still smiling, but calmer now, the work done. By the time the clip hits social media, it spreads fast. Short videos circulate with captions arguing over who won. Some praise Ryan's wit, calling it fearless. Others defend Joy, accusing him of crossing a line. Comment sections ignite, hashtags trend, reaction videos multiply. Laughter from the studio transforms into debate across the internet. The moment becomes more than a joke. It becomes a mirror. A reminder of how thin the line is between humor and confrontation, between laughter and discomfort. And long after the applause fades, people are still talking about that smile, that pause, that carefully chosen roast that turned an easy laugh into something electric. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Was Ryan Reynolds just being funny, or did he go too far? Drop your opinion in the comments, share this story with someone who loves behind-the-scenes drama, and subscribe to the Narration Show for more explosive, cinematic moments where celebrity conversations go completely off script. The laughter that follows the commercial break feels thinner, like it's being held together by habit rather than comfort. Ryan Reynolds sits back down with the same relaxed posture, legs crossed, hands loose, the picture of ease. But ease can be deceptive. The audience senses it now. They've felt the shift. Joy Behar straightens her notes, glancing at Ryan with a smile that's practiced, polished, and just a touch guarded. Joy kicks things off again, this time steering towards safer territory. Movies, box office numbers, Ryan's latest project. Ryan answers smoothly, sprinkling charm into every sentence. The crowd laughs where they're supposed to. Applause hits on cue. On the surface, the show has returned to normal. Underneath, there's a quiet hum of anticipation, like everyone is waiting to see who blinks first. Joy makes a joke about superhero fatigue, teasing Ryan about playing characters who never take anything seriously, even when the world's ending. Ryan laughs along, nodding. That's fair, he says. Though sometimes humor is the only way people stay sane when things feel like they're falling apart. Joy jumps in quickly, almost overlapping him. Or it's a way to avoid responsibility, she says, her tone light but pointed. Crack a joke, dodge the question. A few audience members chuckle. Others shift in their seats. Ryan doesn't interrupt. He waits. That pause, just a second too long, draws attention like a spotlight. When he speaks again, his voice is calm, measured. I think dodging questions looks different, he replies. Usually it involves talking a lot, without actually listening. The line lands with a sharper edge than before. Laughter breaks out, louder than expected, followed by a ripple of applause that wasn't cued. Joy's smile tightens. She laughs too, but there's a quick inhale before it, a subtle reset. She fires back, joking about comedians thinking they're philosophers now. Next thing you know, she says, you'll be running for office. Ryan raises an eyebrow, playing along. Oh no, he says quickly. I don't have the stamina to argue on TV every day. The audience erupts. This time, even Whoopi lets out a low laugh, shaking her head. Joy laughs as well, but her eyes flick briefly toward Whoopi, then back to Ryan. The rhythm is slipping out of her control. Joy leans forward, voice a little firmer now. She brings up a recent comment Ryan made in another interview about public discourse, framing it as Hollywood lecturing America. The words are wrapped in humor, but the challenge is clear. The studio quiets just enough to feel it. Ryan listens carefully, nodding as she speaks. When she finishes, he exhales softly, as if choosing his words. I don't think it's lecturing, he says. I think it's participating. and participation gets messy. He smiles, especially when people confuse volume with authority. A murmur runs through the audience. Someone gasps softly. Joy opens her mouth to respond, then pauses, laughing instead. "Well, that's one way to put it," she says, but the laugh doesn't quite reach her eyes. Sunny jumps in, attempting to balance the moment, asking Ryan about the pressure of being constantly scrutinized online. Ryan turns to her gratefully, answering with humor and honesty, talking about social media storms and misinterpretation. The tension eases for a moment, but Joy isn't done. She circles back, this time more directly. "You seem very confident about what works and what doesn't," she says. "Do you think that comes from privilege?" The word hangs in the air. The audience grows quiet, alert. This isn't banter anymore. It's a pivot. Ryan's expression shifts, not defensive but serious. He nods slowly. "Absolutely," he says. "I'm very aware of it." Joy looks momentarily surprised by the straightforward answer. Ryan continues, voice steady. "That's why I try to listen. And why I don't love conversations where one voice dominates and calls it debate." A collective inhale ripples through the room. Joy's posture stiffens. She responds quickly, asserting the importance of strong opinions, of not apologizing for them. Ryan doesn't disagree. He smiles gently. "Strong opinions are great," he says. "They're even better when they leave room for someone else's sentence to finish." This time, the laughter is mixed with audible oohs. Someone claps loudly, starting a brief wave of applause. The applause sign flashes, but it's late. The reaction is organic now. Joy laughs, shaking her head. "You're very quick," she says. "You must have rehearsed that." Ryan chuckles. "No," he replies. "I just waited." The hosts exchange looks. Whoopi steps in again, steering the conversation toward comedy itself, asking Ryan about the fine line between roasting and respect. Ryan answers thoughtfully, talking about intention, about punching up versus punching down. As he speaks, Joy listens, arms crossed loosely, her expression unreadable. But when Ryan mentions that comedy often exposes power dynamics, Joy interjects. "And sometimes it just annoys people who don't like being challenged," she says. Ryan smiles. "Or people who aren't used to it." The audience reacts instantly, laughter, applause, a few sharp gasps. Joy laughs loudly, almost overcompensating, tossing her head back. "Touché," she says, but her tone carries an edge. The energy in the room is taut now, stretched thin. As the segment nears its end, the jokes keep coming, but they're no longer harmless. Each one carries subtext. Each smile feels strategic. Ryan remains composed, almost gentle, while Joy's humor sharpens, her timing just slightly off. When the camera pulls back again, applause fills the studio, but it's uneven. People are buzzing, whispering, replaying lines in their heads. The sense is clear. This isn't just an interview anymore. It's a quiet contest of control, wit versus authority, charm versus certainty. And as the lights stay bright and the smiles stay fixed, everyone can feel it. This story isn't done unfolding yet. The studio lights don't change, but the atmosphere does. By the time part 3 begins, the energy in the room feels denser, like the air itself has weight. Ryan Reynolds sits forward now, elbows resting lightly on his knees, still smiling, but listening more than he speaks. Joy Behar adjusts her glasses, glancing at her notes, then at Ryan. The rhythm they've been dancing around all show is no longer playful. It's precise, calculated. Every word matters. Joy opens with a laugh that sounds a little louder than necessary. "You know," she says, "people at home probably think we're having a duel." The audience laughs, relieved for a moment. Ryan chuckles. "Only because duels are more polite than comment sections," he replies. The laughter returns, but it doesn't fully relax anyone. Joy smiles, nodding, but her shoulders stay squared. She pivots sharply, bringing up the idea of cancel culture, framing it as comedians wanting to say whatever they want without consequences. Her tone is conversational, but the implication is heavy. The audience quiets again, sensing the turn. Ryan listens without interruption, his expression thoughtful, almost sympathetic. When he responds, his voice is softer than before. "Consequences are real," he says. "They should be, but so should context." He pauses, letting the silence stretch just long enough to be uncomfortable. And context usually disappears when outrage becomes entertainment. The room reacts immediately. A low murmur swells. Someone in the audience claps once, then stops, unsure. Joy laughs, shaking her head. "Outrage is entertainment?" she repeats. "That's rich, coming from Hollywood." The line gets a laugh, but it's divided, half amused, half uncertain. Ryan smiles, accepting the jab. Fair, he says. We monetize a lot of things we probably shouldn't. That concession throws Joy off balance for a beat. She blinks, then presses forward. So where does responsibility end? She asks. At the joke. Or at the damage it does. Ryan leans back slightly, considering. Responsibility ends where listening begins, he replies. If people tell you something hurt them, you listen. But if listening turns into silencing, that's something else. The audience goes quiet. No laughter this time. The tension hums. Joy shifts in her seat, crossing her legs, uncrossing them. You make it sound very simple, she says. But it's not. Ryan nods. I know. That's why it takes patience. He smiles gently. And maybe fewer interruptions. A wave of reaction rolls through the audience, sharp laughter, audible gasps, a few whispered wow. Joy laughs loudly, clapping her hands once. Okay, she says, half amused, half defensive. Point taken. But her smile is thinner now. Whoopi leans in, attempting to ground the moment, talking about generational differences in humor. Ryan agrees, sharing a story about a joke that didn't land the way he expected. The room relaxes slightly. Joy listens, nodding, until Ryan adds, almost casually, sometimes the backlash says more about the room than the joke. The silence is immediate. Joy's head tilts slowly. What room would that be? She asks. Ryan meets her gaze. Any room that decides who gets the last word before the conversation even starts. The audience reacts with a mix of applause and sharp intakes of breath. This isn't laughter anymore, it's recognition. Joy laughs, but there's no humor in it now. She exhales, looking away for a moment, then back at Ryan. You really don't pull punches, do you? She asks. Ryan smiles, almost apologetically. I try not to throw them, he says. I just leave them on the table. That line hits harder than anything before. Applause breaks out, scattered but passionate. The applause sign flashes, but it's redundant now. Joy nods slowly, absorbing it, her expression unreadable. She responds with a story of her own, about decades in television, about watching conversations change, about not wanting to be told she's outdated. Her voice softens, and for the first time, there's vulnerability there. The audience listens intently. Ryan's tone shifts too. He leans in, respectful. I don't think you're outdated, he says. I think you're powerful. And powerful voices shape rooms, sometimes without meaning to. The room holds its breath. Joy looks at him for a long second. There's no joke ready this time. Finally, she smiles faintly. You're very smooth, she says. Ryan chuckles. Years of deflecting Deadpool jokes. The tension loosens slightly, but it hasn't vanished. It's changed shape, less combative, more reflective. The audience applauds again as the segment winds down, but the claps feel thoughtful now, not just entertained. As the cameras prepare to transition, everyone knows it. This conversation has crossed a line from roasting into reckoning. And whatever comes next won't be wrapped in easy laughter. When the cameras pull back for the final time, the applause swells through the studio, louder than before, but uneven, like it's made of different emotions colliding at once. Some people clap with excitement, some with relief, some just because the moment feels too big to sit quietly with. Ryan Reynolds rises from his chair, offering a courteous nod to the hosts, his trademark smile back in place, smooth as ever. Joy Behar stands as well, returning the gesture, her expression composed, professional, but thoughtful in a way the audience can feel. For a split second, they share a look, not hostile, not friendly, but honest. The kind of look that says something real happened here. The theme music plays. The red recording light clicks off. But the moment doesn't end. It expands. Audience members lean toward one another, whispering urgently, replaying lines in hushed voices. Did he really say that? She didn't expect that comeback. That got tense. Phones come out before people even leave their seats. Clips are already being trimmed in real time, captions forming before the studio doors open. Backstage, the energy is strange, quiet, alert. Ryan thanks a producer, shaking hands, joking lightly, but his eyes show focus, as if he knows exactly how this will travel once it leaves the room. Joy walks off with her co-hosts, smiling for staffers, but when she exhales, it's slower, heavier. The kind of breath that comes after holding your ground for an hour straight. Within minutes of the episode airing, social media ignites. Short clips explode across timelines, Ryan's calm smile paired with Joy's sharpened replies. Captions scream in all caps, Ryan Reynolds shuts it down. Others push back just as hard. Joy Behar stands her ground. Reaction videos stack up, creators pausing mid-sentence just to rewind a line again. Comment sections fracture into camps, each convinced they witnessed a decisive moment. Some viewers praise Ryan's composure, calling it a masterclass in controlled wit. They talk about how he never raised his voice, never lost his smile, yet somehow shifted the power in the room. Others defend Joy fiercely, pointing to her decades of experience, arguing that challenging a comedian isn't the same as being defeated by one. Articles appear within hours, dissecting tone, body language, the precise second laughter turned nervous. Even mainstream outlets weigh in. Was it a roast? A clash of generations? Or just an uncomfortable truth wrapped in humor? Clips of the audience reaction go viral too. The gasps, the scattered applause, the moments of silence that felt louder than laughter. People freeze-frame Joy's expressions, Ryan's pauses, building entire narratives out of eye contact and timing. The interview becomes less about what was said and more about how it felt. And that's the thing people can't stop talking about. It didn't feel scripted. It didn't feel safe. It felt real. Days later, the discussion still hasn't cooled. Podcasts debate whether Ryan crossed a line or exposed one. Opinion pieces argue about the role of comedy, of commentary, of who gets to challenge whom on live television. Viewers who missed the episode hunt for the full clip, wanting to experience the tension for themselves, to sit inside that moment where laughter stopped being easy. As for Ryan and Joy, neither makes a dramatic follow-up statement. No apologies. No clarifications. Just a shared understanding that sometimes, the most powerful moments on television aren't planned. They happen when two strong personalities refuse to retreat behind polite smiles. And maybe that's why this moment lingers. Because it wasn't about winning. It was about presence. About timing. About what happens when humor meets conviction, and neither backs down. Now, we want to hear from you. Did Ryan Reynolds handle the moment with clever restraint? Or did he push the conversation too far? Was Joy Behar standing her ground? Or did the laughter slipping away say everything? Share your opinion in the comments below. Read what others are saying. Jump into the debate. And if you want more explosive, cinematic stories where celebrity conversations go completely off script, subscribe to The Narration Show. Hit like and turn on notifications so you never miss the moments everyone else will be talking about tomorrow.